All right, everybody, welcome to the Killer Main podcast series. And today is a very special video because we're doing the first killer introduced to Dead by Daylight, the Trapper. And if my guests would like to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is KillerStreak1994. I am a Trapper main, and I absolutely love everything to do with Trapper.
And where can people find you, Killer?
They can find me on YouTube, and they can find me on Twitch. If you do find me on Twitch, it's probably going to be at like 15 frames a second, so I'm so sorry. But yeah. And it's at KillerStreak1994, so you can spell that anywhere and find me anywhere that I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I'll have those links and such posted below. And I want to thank you personally for coming on. Finding a Trapper main was not easy. We'll probably get into that here in a minute. There's a few of them, and I won't name names, but a couple of them are not privy to come on to this, if I want to be nice. But Trapper was honestly the hardest killer to find, apart from Freddy.
Well, it's a good thing I basically invited myself, so
I don't mind people asking. It's just, So how long have you been playing Dead by Daylight?
I started in about April of 2021.
A lot later, about the same time. What was that, before Nemesis came out?
It was before Nemesis. It was like right after Trickster came out, I believe.
So you started about the same time I did. So the big question that everyone asks for every killer main, and particularly this one, I had a lot of people ask this question when I asked them for questions for you. Why Trapper?
Okay.
So before you answer, to set the scene for those who don't know Trapper, because I don't know how you don't, but Trapper is arguably, and I mean no hate when I say this, Trapper is arguably the worst, if not one of the bottom 3 killers in the game. Almost unarguably so. Almost.
Okay. Well, maybe every other killer is just very good. Okay?
It's only bad relatively speaking. Got it.
Yes. Yes. I think that's actually true.
We'll get into it a little bit later on why I think he is as bad as he is, and why there's really no fixing it. But that's for in a little bit. Why Trapper though? Just genuine question.
Okay, well, there's 2 reasons. The first reason is his real name is Evan, and that happens to be my real name. So I felt a connection there, and so that's one of the reasons I was most interested in playing him, just because we had the same name. And then I got very addicted to hearing people step in my traps. That's about it. It's so addicting, truly.
Did you just confirm you're a sociopath because you like hearing people scream?
Well, I don't consider my stuff like if I can't spell a word, I don't even I don't know. Yeah, a little bit. I think what is the word? Is it it's not sadist. It's
masochist?
Yes. I meant probably. Not, I didn't mean to say it was so much
not something you really want to admit to the world most of the time.
Oh, okay. Edit that out.
Edit that out. I'll bleep it.
Edit that.
But I mean, is it just the does it have anything to do with like the forethought that goes a little bit into Trapper? Because as much as people like to say he has no skill expression, the skill expression mostly in Trapper is trap placement, which is still skill expression. I don't care what anyone says. Map knowledge is skill expression. I will die on that hill. And that's like 90% of Trapper's game plan is knowing map knowledge, where the best place to place traps, the worst place to place traps, how to corral people into them, etc., etc. But does that have anything to do with it either? Kind of like the big brain side of it?
Yeah. What mostly attracted me to this killer was well, okay, so my username comes from Call of Duty. Has nothing to do with this game, okay? And it also shows my age, which I did not think about when I was 14 years old.
I don't think any of us did. You're fine.
Yes. But ever since my reaction time has gone down and I can't like 360 no scope people like Trapper, he's one of the few killers you can play at 20 frames a second, and for the most part it doesn't matter too much. And it's really nice, like, outsmarting people. It's the only reason I play this game, just to hear people say, like, why is there a trap there? Are you inside of my head?
Why is there a trap there?
Yeah, it's so good.
What about the other trap killers? Do they appeal to you at all, or is it just...
Definitely. Definitely, but there's something about somebody saying you suck constantly that really just makes me want to keep playing that same killer. So something about me is, like, when I say I main Trapper, like, I played probably 3 games with him. I probably did really well on those first 3 games, and I tried out the next killer, which was Wraith, I believe was the next killer. I played him, I did really well, and I felt like I was absolutely cheating because it was so easy, like, just to sneak up on people, and it didn't really feel like I was, it didn't feel good to me. So yeah, over 3.5 years ago, I switched back to Trapper, and I have literally never loaded into another game with a different killer. Only Trapper. Literally only Trapper. That's it.
Yeah. It's impressive in a strange way, but I appreciate I respect the hustle, or the commitment, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, all valid enough reasons, I suppose. Trapper's just he's one that, like, I enjoy him. I don't play him often because I know he can be very, very frustrating to play against better players, and we'll get into that in a minute, I'm sure.
True. Well, real quick, it kind of, like, I don't know if you're old. I do know that, actually, but I'm gonna pretend I don't know that. Do you remember, like, tube televisions?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Or even just, like, the old televisions, like,
yes, yeah, of course, yeah. That's what you meant. I thought you meant like a person named that. I was like, no. Yes, I remember tube televisions.
Okay. Yeah. So it kind of feels like that. I don't know if you remember, like, when you would play games or watch movies on those TVs, like, it felt fine. And then when the HD TVs started coming out, flat screens, like, once you watch something on those, you couldn't go back, right? That's how I feel with Trapper. I'm so scared to try a different killer and realize how shit he is. That's how I feel about him.
Again, relatively speaking, he's good. There's a really, really good Valorant player. I can't remember their name. Maybe chat can help me remember. They play Brimstone. This is relevant, I promise. They play Brimstone, and they are in their, I believe they're in their 40s, and they have reached Ascendant quite a lot, which is the highest rank in that game, and they use shotguns and sniper rifles. And the way they talk about it is basically, my reflexes aren't what they were when I was younger. So to be better at this game, I picked the character that doesn't require that many reflexes and just requires knowing what to do and when to do it. And using guns that don't require that much aim or twitch stuff. Now, I know what you're thinking, a sniper rifle. In Valorant, it's arguable that the sniper rifles don't require that much twitch aiming. It's more holding an angle rather than flicking to people. So it's a lot less like 360 no scopes and more.
Right, you're hard scoping, which is shamed upon.
Which is shamed upon. You're supposed to use a sniper, anyways.
I know.
But yeah, the reasoning a bit reminds me of that, and I think that's something people forget with some of the easier killers in this game. like Legion and such. There's some people who legitimately just play these killers because they're not as intensive, and some people enjoy that.
Well, it's weird, right? Because he's an easy killer, but if you play him, you'll have some of the hardest matches, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, same with Legion. A lot of the easy killers are like that. You know, a lot of the easier killers in this game don't get that very good results. That's why I feel like Chucky. It only took me 20 minutes to bring him up. That's why I feel Chucky is really, really hated a lot, because he is, generally speaking, easier, but he gets results that the stronger killers get.
True.
Meanwhile, someone like Trapper and Legion doesn't do that.
True. Well, I don't think so, but just in case we don't ever talk about Chucky again, I love going against Chucky. I love seeing him fall to the ground on his cute little face and calling me a little shit. Like, that is the best thing. Oh my god. I'm a huge fan of that.
If it's really a good Chucky, he shouldn't be getting stunned, just saying.
Oh, well. Luckily I've never faced you, so
I still get stunned sometimes. No, that's my favorite argument, though. A lot of the times it's like, yeah, I like going against this killer when the player's bad. Oh, okay. So you just like going up. No, okay, whatever. So Trapper is the poster child of the game. He is the first killer very many people play. He has a special place in the heart of not just the devs, but the game community as a whole, even though a lot of people say they hate him because they want him to be changed. Which brings us into the leading question of, how would you change Trapper to make him better?
I have a few things. Okay. Firstly, this game is it can be very RNG reliant on who wins. And the fact that his whole power is like still RNG really, really feels bad. Yeah, I would change the whole, what is it, 16% escape chance per time up to 6 times. I would change that into a flat rate of, this would need to be like tinkered with a little bit more, but probably anywhere between 5 and 6 seconds, and that increases with add-ons. I feel like both of us, like Survivor and Killer, would really feel like, it would feel like you're not getting cheated. Like, either way, it feels really bad when you drop chase to go get someone trapped and they're out in 2 seconds, and now you're left with nothing just because of you got unlucky. And if they're trapped for, let's say, 6 seconds, and you know how far you can travel, then it's not a waste of your time, and you're probably going to make the right decision. I think that is by far the biggest one I would like to see, is just have a one long bar that clears after 5 or 6 seconds. I think that would really help him be more consistent, which is one of his biggest problems, is consistency. And there are a lot of little things I would change, but the other thing would be there needs to be a deep wound when you get into a trap. Like, there's no punishment for getting into a trap without add-ons. And there are add-ons that put you in deep wound, but you can't really use those without sacrificing really strong add-ons. And I feel like that would really help in a lot of ways that might not be too apparent at first. Like, if someone gets trapped, you have, what is it? I think it's 12 seconds to mend yourself. And if you're paying attention to all the micro stuff happening in your game, and you see, oh, that person mended themselves in less than 12 seconds, then you automatically know they're with somebody else. And that's info, and that's really, really helpful to know where people are. And same thing with, the timer for like 6 seconds getting out of that trap. If they get out earlier, you also know that there's 2 people there. That's really huge. I don't know if people would really appreciate how big that is to know that. But one of his strongest add-ons is Honing Stone, And just knowing that somebody released that person, even if they didn't go down, is really big on your game plan, because you basically need to know where people are, and you need to plan around that. Otherwise, you're just kind of trapping everywhere and praying to the entity, and yeah. It's not great.
Do you think, because I know a lot of people suggest that he should start with all of his traps, do you think that would be too much?
If you gave it to me, that's way too much. Honestly. If you gave it to me, I'm shitting on everybody forever, I swear. If you can pick up your traps, which obviously, I mean, they got to keep that. That's half the fun with trappers, just moving your traps around. Yeah, that's extremely too strong. If you're the average player that's just playing him once or twice a month for your daily, you're going to be like, oh, trapper feels okay. This is nice. But if you're someone that mains him, people are going to start to hate him. Like, people hate
him
anyways, to be honest.
People hate him
you do?
now. Yeah, but a lot of people hate him now.
Yeah. Well, they hate good trappers. Just like any killer, they hate good killers, you know? Like, the amount of times people say, oh, it's trapper? Hell yeah, we need a good game. And I'm like, okay. And by the end of the game, they're like, bro, nerf trapper. I'm like, I didn't even bring perks, dog. Like, and they're like, yeah, but your add-ons. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, just, I don't know.
It's trapper. I mean, it's like those guys who gave up on Hook against the Freddy with Unrelenting. It's like,
yeah.
And then they call the killer trash for bringing OP stuff. What OP? They brought no perks. They brought Unrelenting. That was the only perk they brought. No add-ons, and they played Freddy.
Exactly.
What less could they have brought?
I don't know, bro. And that's the thing. I am not trying to make everybody happy, especially when it comes to the Dead by Daylight community. I just want to make everyone happier. Okay. And I think adding those two things, like, even when I get trapped, which is embarrassing to say, but sometimes, trappers are so bad that, like, they'll just bring Eerie Stone and I'll just get caught in a random trap, which does kind of suck. And then it'll take me literally forever to get out of that trap. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, you're just getting lucky. I don't like the luck factor. Okay. So I think adding those two things, there are other things I would add as well. But just small things like that. What do you think about that, actually?
I think, like, I don't mind the deep wound being base kit. I think that's perfectly fine. I honestly, I don't know why it's not a thing. And I'll get into this a little later, but I hate to tell people this. Every suggestion people make for trappers, quote, rework to make him better, it kind of existed. And her name was Skull Merchant.
Yes. And that's the thing. If I could see the future and saw that people hated him as much as she who must not be named, I would be okay with him never getting another buff again, because I want people to have fun against my killer. And they do. I mean, just not against me, but against other trappers, they really do have fun a lot of times. And yeah, I want people to have fun at the end of the day. Which is why I put the VOD on a different burner account, because I was not, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it was not great.
As far as the RNG consistency goes, I think it's fine. Honestly, I think there are some things that RNG I think is fine with, like map spawns and stuff. Even then, I think it needs to be a little bit more consistent, personally. But I think having the RNG of getting out of a trap being consistent would be perfectly okay. I think that also makes him easier to change things on in the future if they just went ahead and added that.
Right.
Because it means, like, for some of the add-ons that affect it, it's like, well, now we can look at the base numbers and be like, okay, adjust it by this much and it should be okay. Adjust it by this much and it should be fine, Same with the deep wound one. It's like, if we change that to something else, like, I don't even know what you could change it to. Maybe He has a hemorrhage and mangled one, doesn't he? He
He
does?
does.
Okay.
He does.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
can't really... Oblivious?
For an add-on?
Yeah.
I would love that.
Does he
Oh
have
my
that?
god.
He doesn't have an
He
Oblivious one.
doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Somebody accused me of having that on, and I was like, I don't. But that's kind of cool now that you mention it.
Yeah, add deep wound, the deep wound one to base kit, and then change the deep wound one to when they get in a trap, they're oblivious.
Yeah, but I only like I would be okay with like something that's not super strong. Are you talking base kit or as an add-on?
As an add-on.
Oh, okay, that add-on.
It would replace the deep wound one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, right. Because that would be
so
base kit.
like in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, they step in a trap, and they're oblivious while in the trap, and then 30 seconds after they escape it. Because I mean, he's a 115 he's a 115 no like he doesn't have any mobility. So like I think 30 seconds would be perfectly fine.
I don't.
You there?
That's a good trick if you're like trying to skip on.
Killer, you're breaking up.
I was thinking more like if you set a trap.
Killer, you're breaking up a lot.
In seconds or so. Definitely nothing more than like 15 seconds.
All right, we were talking about adding an oblivious add-on.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be cool just to have him where he sets it and for like maybe 10 seconds he's undetectable. That way you can,
Yeah, that's another thing. He could have an undetectability add-on. I could see that too.
Mm-hmm.
That would also mean people with like an aura reading build couldn't just know where you put traps as well.
True.
You'd have to set a trap and then set another trap, but like it would still be an option you have.
That would be really nice for like Kindred, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you'd have to set a trap and then set another one.
That's fine.
But even with like Kindred, if you know they have Kindred, you can like hook somebody, place a trap down, and then walk where you need to walk.
Oh yeah, I always place a trap down in case they can see me because I've already pre-trapped that hook anyways. Mm-hmm. So they're like, "Oh, I know where your trap is. It's right there." And then they walk into the one they didn't see me place 5 minutes ago, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're dumb." I'm sorry.
Add-on wise though, like ironically, I think Trapper has some of the better add-ons in the game as far as like consistency sake goes. Like I really wouldn't want to change very many of them.
No, yeah, I love his add-ons. There's only like 2 that are just not great.
My favorite are the aura one for when someone disarms your trap, and homing stone, obviously.
Yeah, no, those are great. I really have fun with them. The problem is if you get sent to a place where there's no grass and. Yeah, you just, if you don't have deep knowledge on the map, then you're screwed. So when it comes to reworking him, I'm not trying to rework him for me. Mm-hmm. Because like it feels bad, but I can bring strong add-ons. I'm trying to make him feel better for everybody else. Mm-hmm. I'm actually okay with how he is, besides him stepping in his own traps. I'm so sorry. That's not okay. Like, why do I have a meme add-on attached to me base kit and nobody else does? Because he had it when he first came out. Like, you could sabotage traps when he first came out. They got rid of that. Like, I don't know. I hate it. I truly do.
Didn't they? They got rid of it in 2v8, didn't they?
Yes, and guess what? No one said he was overpowered. Nobody.
Because no one played him.
I did. Okay.
Another suggestion I've heard a lot. Do you play Overwatch at all?
No.
So in Overwatch, there's a character called Junkrat. Junkrat can throw out basically bear traps. And when you're playing Junkrat on your team and you look at the bear trap, you can see it in full. Right? It's above the ground. It's very big. You can see it completely. But the enemy, when they see it, on their side, all they can see is the teeth And I'm curious if that would be too much if we make the traps inherently hard to see. Because I feel like that would help him on situations on maps like Eerie of Crows and stuff.
Yes. I mean, the best suggestion I've heard is like give him an add-on that like camos him into his trap environment. But nothing as nothing as oppressive as like what Hag has. I can't find Hag's traps for my life. Literally, I will die against a Hag.
They glow.
Yeah.
They do that little shimmer thing when you're looking at them.
I've only played like 3 Hags this year, so sorry if I didn't
Fair
notice
enough. That. But yeah, they do like when you're looking at Hag's traps, they do a little shimmer off the ground when you're looking at them.
Interesting. I actually did not know that at all.
You have to be really close, but yeah, you can see it. That was part of the way they balance her. I mean, also the fact that unlike a trapper trap, just because a Hag trap goes off doesn't mean you instantly get hit.
I do. I don't know what you're talking about. I instantly get hit every time.
And then I'd like to mention that. So basically, for changes, you just want the RNG to be more consistent. You want the deep wound add-on to be base, and you want the traps in some way to be better on non-grassy maps.
That would be nice. It sounds like I'm asking for a lot.
That's not a lot at all. What do you mean? That's I think it's perfectly reasonable. Everything you just mentioned is perfectly reasonable.
Right. Well, I feel like Trapper's like Harry Potter. Like I've been shut in my little closet, and if you give me like a bowl of ramen that's actually hot, like I feel like that's too much for me. You know what I mean?
So I didn't. So I said I would go into this a little bit. So the reason why Trapper is arguably one of the worst killers in the game, if not the worst. And I mean, no hate with that. It's just
no. I have a box of tissues here.
The reason why is Trapper, much like Hag, much like Skull Merchant, much like every trap killer in this and any video game ever that is PvP, trap characters rely, for the most part, not always, but they rely on people making mistakes.
Okay.
And that is why Trapper is often considered one of, if not the worst killers in the game. Because his entire game plan, even if you set up the perfect trap, if the person knows how to play around it, and you don't allocate enough resources to also play around it and force them into one of them, which could be argued you could, but you have to use you might have to have a backup trap, which takes time. They have to make the mistake of running into it. And that's and once again, that's the case for a lot of the trap killers. Hag's a little different because she doesn't have to spend time picking up her stuff. Skull Merchant's different because she just has all of her drones. And then killers like Singularity, who's technically a trap killer, has the advantage of, again, he doesn't have to pick up his traps. I think picking up the traps is another big issue Trapper has. Now, do I think he should get all of his traps at base? No, but I could see him getting more than, what is it right now, 2?
It is 2.
It's 2? Yeah. I could see him getting a couple more, maybe just one more at base. Just to expedite the process a little bit more.
That's true. That's so true. That would feel amazing. That would feel so good to have 3 traps on hand. I would love that. It's just, yeah, I just don't want to ask for too much. But if we're talking about everything we could give him, and this is the thing, is like when I've read forums and stuff, people are like, oh yeah, Trapper could be good if they gave him half his add-ons base kit. And I'm like, dang, that kind of sucks, you know? I don't know, you know? But you're right. It would be really nice. And I don't think it would be overpowered just to have one more trap on hand. Well, especially for a casual player.
And I mean, I mentioned it a bit, but the thing is, every time I hear like people talk about Trapper's rework, quote unquote, what they want a Trapper rework to be to make him better, it's just Skull Merchant.
Mm,
Like people are like, oh,
yes.
make his add-ons base kit. So we want him to have all of these status effects on his traps too. That's Skull Merchant.
Yeah,
We want him to have more
exactly.
haste when he places a trap. Skull Merchant. We want him to just put a trap in a loop and people have to run away. Skull Merchant. You're literally just making him Skull Merchant, and we all know what happened when that happened. That's the other thing with trap killer characters in video games. When they're good, they are really, really frustrating.
Exactly.
Because the idea of a trap is that you were supposed to fall for it. And when you have a character that can force people to fall for the trap, it doesn't feel like they trapped you. It feels like trap characters. Yeah, just trap characters are just very hard to do right without them either being too weak or too strong. And I feel like Trapper kind of falls in line with that. Again, like, would I love a lot of his add-ons to be base? Yeah, I would love it, but I feel like he would also become way too oppressive with all of his add-ons base.
You're right. You're right. You're right. That's why I'm super happy if they literally just added, the timer instead of the chances and the deep wound. I feel like that's a good starting place. And if you want to revisit him in another 6 months or so, um, see how he's doing, see how his, kill rate went up or whatever, and take it from there. I think sometimes behavior doesn't do stuff small and they kind of overdo it, kind of how they murdered Skull Merchant. Um, so yeah, I don't want anything overdone. Um, I just want people to be able to play this killer and not feel like they're getting bullied, and then go play Blight and just, I don't know. I just want him to be viable for someone that's just playing him casual. Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, though, there will always be a killer in that bottom spot, and right now it's either Freddy Myers or Skull Merchant, not Trapper, honestly.
Mm,
Somehow Trapper has avoided being down there with those three at this point, but again, a lot of Trapper's problems is just consistency.
yeah.
The next bit of changes, though, are to his teachable perks. This is something a lot of people don't ever really talk about. Trapper's teachables are agitation, brutal
Hmm.
strength, and I forget unnerving presence.
Yes.
Yeah. I think brutal is fine. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think brutal is perfectly okay. I think agitation is a perfectly fine perk. I think they both fill the roles they're supposed to. Unnerving presence is it's a perk.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about unnerving presence, I
Mhm.
would like to say for brutal, it's a great perk, and I do run it. However, I when I was making my guide on this on Trapper, I tried to get like a video side by side of like showing you like how much time you're saving with brutal,
Mhm.
and I took that part out of my video because for whatever reason I could not see any difference in how fast he breaks a pallet.
It's about 0.2 seconds faster.
Yeah, and
Um,
I couldn't see it.
it matters on dash killers way more than it does, and not to say it doesn't matter on the other killers, but killers like Wesker and Chucky can and Blight can leverage that way more because it means they can catch up 0.2 seconds faster with their dashes.
That's true.
But overall, on like a killer like Trapper, no, it doesn't really do much. The most value you're going to get at brutal strength on someone like Trapper is throughout the game. Those 0.2 seconds add up.
Right. Well, look, if you're breaking pallets with Trapper, you should not just be chasing throughout the map. If you're
Mhm.
breaking pallets, it's because you're like creating a dead zone, and that's why you're getting chased at all.
Mhm.
And then, that person will be like, oh, I won that chase. And then 3 minutes later, when it's, that generator's over there that you completely ignored, and you're like, oh shit, I fucked up 3 minutes ago and I had no idea. um, and it helps just to get those pallets out of the way, especially with maps like Greenville, um, and the game and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's kind of like a worst case scenario, like in case you have to kick so many pallets. Um, It is a good perk. I think it's a good perk on every killer, which is
It
nice,
is.
except for, like Nemesis or something like that. But
Uh, anything to say about agitation?
perfectly fine perk. I mean, it just straight buffs your base kit, and you can feel it, and it's great. It's a great perk. I love it, and it synergizes with other perks for the larger tear radius as well.
The larger terror is kind of random on it, but I kind of get it. It's just always seemed odd to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I've never made use of it, but I know other killers have with their builds.
It synergizes
Yeah.
decently well with Starstruck too. It makes people even more scared to come anywhere near you.
That's true.
But
That's true.
the last one, unnerving presence. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the one? I always forget this one. I always confuse it with the other one. Is this the one that makes the skill checks bigger?
Smaller.
Smaller. Yeah. It makes the skill checks smaller if someone's in your terror radius.
Yes, and if you have more than like 200 hours on this game, it just makes it easier to get a great skill check.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's such an oddly designed perk. I mean, it has other issues other than just being bad. Because here's the thing: a lot of perks in this game are bad, but they do something that they have feedback to them, right?
Right.
So, like, chlorophobia is a good one, right? Chlorophobia is not that bad. It lowers it makes healing take longer when people are in your terror radius, and it also makes the skill checks faster. Which I think is which is something I feel like unnerving should do, honestly. But it makes your skill checks faster. Now, there's really no feedback unless people miss skill checks. You don't hear like the skill check miss stuff unless they're actually missing them. But it's still doing something, even if you don't see it. Unnerving, if you don't hear the skill checks going off, it's literally doing nothing. And you get no feedback that it is doing anything.
You're right. However, like a big argument for Trapper not being great is that beginners can use him and still get value from him. And I specifically remember using Unnerving Presence when I first started playing Killer and getting a lot of value from it. And I don't know how to feel about perks that only work on brand new players, because everything works on brand new players, but it really works on them. Like, it truly does. And then it does nothing for the rest of the community after you get a little bit more experience. Except for like Doctor and stuff like that.
I'm not a fan of perks that require people to mess up for the killer to get value, and vice versa. I've never been a fan of that. It basically does what I feel like it punishes new players more or way too much, and it doesn't do anything for the veterans.
Well, yeah, you're right. I don't know how much the gen regresses when you miss a skill check from that. Is it still the same 10%?
Yeah, it's 10%.
Yeah, see, 10%. That's crazy. That's a lot of progress, truly. And yeah, speaking of that, I really don't like when you leave a generator and it just blows up because the game hates you. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about it either. I think it could be changed. I haven't thought about it, and I have no idea how it could be changed. But I mean, yeah,
hear me out.
Okay.
Let's just make it chlorophobia for gens.
Okay, but then look, the problem with that is you could be super mean and you could put on your streamer build, because streamers, they just like sitting on a generator and then finally they can read their chat. But if you're a Wesker and you have this perk on, like, dude, like, you're so screwed, and it's mean. It's so mean, and I would definitely use it. But I do feel for that, because that is like,
because again, like I said, my point with like chlorophobia is like, even if the skill check thing doesn't do anything, it still reduces healing by 50%. So it's still doing something.
Oh, so you say make the gens go down. Well, not maybe 15%.
Yeah,
but
maybe
a
like
percentage.
10% slower when they're in your terror radius.
Okay.
That way,
that would be cool.
That way, it's still doing something.
I like that. Even like, okay, I gotta be honest. I recently, which is embarrassing to admit, I recently learned that hitting great skill checks for like healing and stuff, apparently, please correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't really save you that much time if you hit every single one of them.
For greater goods.
Great.
For healing, it does. For gens, it adds 1 extra %.
Which means what? If you do a whole generator and hit every, well, they're random.
I mean, they're random, but it would basically save you a second per.
Okay, so like I typically will hit like 5 or 6 if I do a whole generator by myself.
So you're saving about 6 or so seconds.
But mostly I just end up missing one of them, and then all that goes away.
Yeah. That's why like hyperfocus stakeout is so good. It's not just hyperfocus stakeout itself, because it's also the inherent extra 1% from the great skill checks.
True.
On healing, I don't know the amount exactly, but on healing it is way more noticeable.
Well, especially with add-ons and medkits, that's amazing. But yeah, yeah, that would be something. If it slowed it down, regardless if you missed it or not, that would be really nice. I still would never use it.
Well, no, like it still wouldn't be like 10% is like basically nothing, but it also only in your terror radius. So like unless you're playing a killer who can move their terror radius somehow a lot with certain add-ons and whatnot, it really wouldn't be that big of a deal. I just think it would be a nice way to make the perk like kinda usable.
It would be really cool with unforeseen.
Unforeseen. Actually. You could use it with dark devotion too.
True. That's true.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of weird ways, and then like again, like and you can keep the current effect it has with making the skill check smaller too. I
really like that actually.
Once again, I just say make it chorophobia, but for gens, I think it would be fine. Just adjust the numbers properly.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's a good idea.
Because even if they're fully in your terror radius, for the entire duration of doing a generator, the 10% would mean that they do a gen 9 seconds slower.
That's super noticeable. That's a long time. 5 seconds in this game is a long time.
9 seconds.
Well, yeah, but I mean, anything is long. That's really good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, and typically, especially with, people that patrol gens, I'm trying to use the phrase that doesn't mention 3-genning, but if I were to do that, I would get a lot of value, actually.
What do you mean, Trapper? Yeah. Trapper's like the worst 3-genner in the game.
I've never 3-genned in my whole life.
I definitely don't. Every time I play Trapper, I definitely don't run Corrupt Intervention and just trap those 3 block gens.
Well, that's it. I will tell you. Did I tell you this already? I don't know. But I have never, since I've installed this game, I have never used Corrupt Intervention, not even one time.
Really?
Really. Not even one time.
I would highly recommend it.
No.
Especially on your killer.
No. It's too far. I've gone too far. I can't do it now. Nope. I'm like a vegetarian. I'm like 50 years old and I refuse to eat meat, even though if someone says I need to replace vitamins, I don't care. I'm not going to use it.
Well, that segues into the next question of builds you run. I know in the gameplay we've got no perks, but typically, what are you running out here?
Well, no, typically I really don't run perks.
Really?
I don't. Really, like more than half the time, I don't run perks because I enjoy the macro so much. Yeah, and I typically don't have too much time to play this game. So yeah, I enjoy the macro of this game, and I like to know what's happening with information that I'm given, which is not a lot. But okay, we will talk perks. Typically, in general, I really enjoy Stealth Trapper. I enjoy it a lot. a staple for me is Surge or Jolt, whatever you want to call it. It's really good passive, and typically it'll hit multiple generators because, like I said, I never 3-gen, but if I did, it would hit a bunch of generators. That's really good. I love that perk so much, even though, it's been, what's the nerfed? Kind of, because you can only hit generators so many times. It's typically not a big problem still. Plaything. I love Plaything because it's like passive slowdown, or you're gonna get grabbed off a generator if you're too cocky. And people think I always bring Hex Pentimento, so they like refuse to cleanse their Plaything. And I think that's a little bit unhealthy, but it kind of benefits me, so I'm okay with it.
I hate the system, but I benefit from it, so it's fine.
Look, every killer benefits from Blood Warden. Every single one of them. And I haven't run Blood Warden in like probably 2 years. So it's, again, maybe it's not the healthiest thing, but it's just true. So Plaything, Jolt, oh my god. I don't know what to call it, Mindbreaker or Fearmonger. But if I could only run one perk, it would be that one every single game. The blindness effect is insane. Like, not knowing exactly where a survivor went down is really disorienting for a lot of people. Even for like when I play with my friends, like they don't know how to call out. So
blindness
is really
underlooked, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like people crap on that status effect way too much.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's one of those things like you don't know that you got value from it until you realize that they've made mistakes. The same thing. What was it? There was a perk. I think it was that like ultimate weapon one where you went blind. The amount of like survivors that died, not from me, but like from me playing Survivor because I couldn't find the hook, is so dumb. Like, I felt so bad for letting them die. I'm like, dude, I don't know where you are. I'm so sorry.
It's just like Knockout, but in reverse.
True.
Or
you still get the bubble, but
Well, not for Knockout, you don't.
Oh no, nope. You sure don't. I think you did a slugging challenge recently, correct?
I did something for Carnivorous. Yeah, but I didn't run Knockout for that.
Oh, you didn't?
No. Chucky can't really use Knockout too well because it requires an M1 down.
Oh.
It doesn't work with M2s.
Dang. Yeah, that's what you get for playing an M1 killer. I was aware of that, but I didn't really think about that.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, do you really want Huntress out here running Knockout? She downs someone with an orbital from across the map, and not only do you not know where the person is, she doesn't know where the person is.
Nobody. That's so true. That's true. Yeah, okay, you're right. What were we talking about?
Perks you run on Trapper?
Right, so Plaything, Surge, Fearmonger. Yeah, people not being able to sprint burst away from me is a huge lifesaver. Like, it's so demoralizing when, you start to run to a generator and somebody has ran 5 seconds beforehand and they're literally halfway across the map. And as Trapper, you're like, well, shit. like unless you put a trap in their pathway and they're not looking at you, which they're looking at you, by the way, because they're not scared of you at all. Then yeah, and even if you do trap them, like base kit, that doesn't mean anything. That could mean 2 seconds. They are probably already injured anyways. That's what I'm saying. Like, his power is not rewarding enough. A lot of the times, base kit. Okay, so double Eerie doesn't count. Everyone hates it, which is why I run it currently. So, and I don't like being reliant on add-ons, but I do have some stats that I need to crunch some numbers at some point in time. But Uh, yeah. So that one. And then for a last perk, what do I throw on there? Let me think. That one. I can't even remember. I truly don't use perks most of the time.
Any
But
reason why other than just challenging yourself?
yeah,
That's really all.
yeah, it truly is. I did a stream a few months ago. I played for about 4 hours, and I think I lost like, oh, I got two draws. Like I got two 2Ks, which are losses in my eyes. In 4 hours. The rest of them were for 4Ks. Well, I gave Hatch every game, but it felt like, dude, no perks. Um, and I'm 4King for 4 hours in a row, and I honestly took a break from the game because I was like, this is too easy. um, I like a challenge, and I like sweat too, but that's the biggest problem with Trapper is I never know who I'm going against until it's too late, either for me or for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes both ways. And it feels pretty bad because I'll spend 2 minutes setting up and they'll get 3 generators done. And then more than half the time, like they just get steamrolled because I have a sick setup. But then the other times where I'm actually facing competent teams, I get steamrolled and it feels bad. And the thing is, I don't know that they're good until I start that first chase. And if you start that first chase, then you're not setting up your traps, and there's a balancing act there. But yeah, I just don't like running perks for the most part.
I mean, that's an issue with the game overall. I mean, on both sides, you don't know what kind of person you're going against until it's too late.
Exactly.
And I mean, you could argue that's the case for most video games, but it's a lot more impactful in Dead by Daylight, I feel. Which, I guess, segues into the next thing with the state of the game, which is going to be weird because I'm on my break from the game right now, at least playing it wise, and but I've been hearing some stuff about the new patch, and people aren't happy right now. But overall, though, like, do you have any opinions on the general state of the game?
Honestly, ever since, and this was a while ago, ever since they nerfed Dead Hard, I have not complained about this game, like out loud or to myself. Dead Hard, it just hurt me so much. I hated hearing people say just wait it out or all the things they said. And I'm like, wait it out until you make it to that super safe palette? You like, what do you mean? I don't know. I love this game, and I think it's in a great place. And the only time it's not in a great place is when something is just busted, and then behavior decides to take months to fix it. But I think in general, it's really great. I just, every time they quote unquote nerf killer, which buff survivor, giving them base kit stuff, it doesn't really hurt those top tier killers that they kind of did it for. It hurts me, which makes me have to play even meaner, which hurts everybody else. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know, because I think you've mentioned base kit unbreakable, which I agree with. Okay, and the way you described it, which is like not 20 seconds.
No, like 2 minutes is the way I've always described it.
Yeah, 2 minutes on the ground, you're just being mean, or you're slugging for the 4K, and you deserve to not have that.
Some people say, like, the argument I often hear is, well, what if the killer has to? Bro, if you had to slug somebody for 2 minutes, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you're watching the VOD, I might have slugged people for more than 2 minutes. But this VOD is to get statistics. Okay, so I did slug for the 4K, which is why I did it on a burner account because, I'm hoping no one saw this.
There's a difference between doing it to do it and doing it because you have to, is my point. Like,
yeah, did you win a game?
Yeah, no. Did you have to slug for that long?
Right. Right.
And even then, what if you just camp the slug? Then it doesn't matter.
That's true.
What if you just
That's
count?
true.
What if you just count a minute 30 in your head and then walk back to the slug?
Why are you even playing this game? I don't know. This just seems so pointless.
What do you? People do that
Well,
in League and stuff all the time. People used to memorize like jungle timers in League.
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's why they added it into the base game because people would just memorize them anyways.
Interesting.
That's the thing with like timers stuff like that. You can't stop someone from just. It's like counting cards in blackjack. It's not illegal because what's illegal about it? The guy knows how math works.
Yeah, they don't like it. It doesn't matter if it's. They will not. They'll kick you out.
No, they
They
won't.
don't care.
Mm-mm.
You don't. No.
No.
Are you a gambler?
No, I used to study blackjack a lot. No, most casinos won't unless it's a bunch of people doing it, like in a group. They actually don't care because if that guy's winning, everyone else is probably losing.
Well, I based what I just said off of a movie, so I'll trust you.
Yeah. No, most casinos, like once again, they can't even prove anything though.
Yeah.
What, like, okay, again, it's like I said with the timer thing. It's like, what exactly are they doing wrong? They just know how math works.
True.
That's it.
Well, I don't. It's weird with this game. Like, I can count to 10 better than my timer on my phone can because of borrowed time. To be honest, like, it's kind of insane. I kind of hate it because it's like a little lullaby. I'm like 10.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just like in League. Like Flash in League of Legends is a 5-minute cooldown. There are people who play the game that know exactly when 5 minutes is in their head.
Yeah, that's true. Some people are just, I mean, good. Yeah.
It's just like with the hook timers. It's like if they hid the hook progression thing, it wouldn't matter. People could just count it in their head.
True. Well, I have no idea when someone's about to get cell phone hooked. That's killer.
Oh,
I mean, I
not
have
the
an
not the
idea.
cell phone hook, not the cell phone hook. I'm talking just in general,
Right.
like the normal bar. The cell phone hook's a little different because it progresses differently based on distance.
It does, but I'm still not sure exactly what it is.
I think it's 50 seconds. It's a little less than a full hook stage.
Yeah, but if you're close to them, it goes down.
No, it goes up.
Like if you're close to that person on hook, it doesn't take 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's about 50 seconds.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've stood next to somebody. It felt like they got out in like half that time at least.
It might be faster, like you're right up next to it, and I'm just not thinking
No,
of it correctly.
it increases as you get closer. That's why it's like you were in this area at different distances, and it changes how fast at your distance. And the problem with that is like if you're upstairs or like if you're in Lambton Lane and you go upstairs and grab a trap or something, and then you walk back downstairs, and then you turn around and he's self unhooked. It's just like, oh damn, I didn't know.
I think part of it is also I think they did it, and I think this is why they increased the hook timer to make it more of a thing that might actually happen.
Yup.
I wouldn't I don't want like the timer to be shown to the killer. I would like an indicator that you're in range for it or that it's going up.
Yes, like a little glowy thing around the screen or something something subtle, where it's like you are actively making this timer go up. We're not going to tell you, but just so you know, like it's happening. Because currently it's just like if you're within 16 meters,
Yeah.
But I've had it happen where I have two traps near a hooked survivor. I pick them up, I place them, I turn around, and that guy's just off the hook. I'm like, damn, that kind of sucks. But I was camping you, I guess, technically. Just my power happened to be right next to you. Sorry. So,
But I mean the rest of the game though. I mean, as far as like the balance and such goes, I think like a lot of people have said this game is in the best balance state it's been in a while. Like it's to the point to where like people are complaining about stuff that I don't understand why they're complaining about it, and I think it's just because we have nothing else to complain about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, because every time someone complains, like, I don't say it to them because a lot of people I know complain, but I'm like, get better, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
It depends on what it is. I mean, like, I've complained about Dead Hard before, like current Dead Hard, just because it affects my killer more than others, but
well, yeah, because you can't cancel your power, right?
no, not once it starts going, no. And you can't really, like, slide past them. I mean, you can, but, like, the way the animation timing works, there's really no way for you to know they have Dead Hard.
That's true.
But yeah, that once again, that's not me necessarily complaining. It's a grievance I have. I don't want Dead Hard changed or anything. But there are some people who like genuinely just hate on the game every 24/7, and it gets on my nerves.
It does. It really does. I think the last time I've complained about this game is like seeing somebody use Unbreakable with Soul Guard, and I'm like, no, no more endurance. I didn't even know about this perk. Like,
But Soul
I don't
Guard,
know. Yeah.
I think I think you're gonna start seeing Soul Guard more, and Unbreakable.
I hope not. That's oh god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I keep saying it, but I think slugging's gonna start to become meta. And if it becomes meta, then Unbreakable Soul Guard becomes meta.
I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think because I'll be honest, I'm a pretty decent killer. As far as survivor, I'm shit. Truly bottom percentile as survivor. As killer, no, but I only play survivor just for fun. So if something happens to me, I don't even really care what or when happened to me. I'm just like, that sucks, but I was probably gonna die anyways. So but when something happens to me as killer, I'm like, dude, what happened? I don't know what happened. It's kind of frustrating. But no, I think the state of the game's really, really good. In my opinion.
There's some bugs, but like I tell us, like it's every game. It's every game. And every game, Apex, Overwatch, League, every game, the next patch is the patch that kills the game. I hear this all the time from all corners of the internet about every video game in existence.
True.
To the point to where I don't know what that word even means anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I think like there's been times like when something bad happens, like currently, like when I was doing this testing, there's this new bug where like if you're running deja vu or something and you're looking at that generator that's deja vu'd, you can't see it in red highlights because you're looking at it. Same thing with bear traps. Like as long as nothing's blocking its view. Same thing with bear traps. Like you can see their white aura as long as something is physically blocking you from seeing it and you're not too close. But there's a bug currently that half the time you can't see them regardless. And you can see them sometimes, just not all the time. It's completely new and it's very disorienting because I'll be like, I walked over here because there was a trap and there's currently no trap over here. It feels really bad and I hope it gets fixed. But there's small bugs here and there. There was one last year that actually made me have my biggest break from this game. I think that they did it when they removed the ability to get rid of Hag's traps with flashlights, right? So when they were getting rid of that, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want it to blow up. But I played one match, and somebody got into Shack and completed the generator, and I was like, how did they do that? And I was so suspicious, and I later chased this person around a loop that was trapped, and they shined their flashlight at my trap and walked right through it like a Hag trap. It was fully armed, everything. I looked at them, asked them to do it again. They did it again. I left the game and I didn't log on for like 2 months, I think, until it was fixed. And I didn't want to bring attention to it because I didn't want everyone to abuse my killer. So But bugs get fixed eventually.
Yeah, I just wish this game. I do understand this game is a little bit more buggy than most, but it's also. I think it's just something we have to accept at this point.
Yup. I just try to get better. But I realize not everybody has that mindset. I take it as a new challenge most of the time. Most of the time.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we don't have any egregious strategies going on right now. Nothing different than the normal stuff, I feel. Even the slugging, it's like, it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. There's plenty of stuff to counteract it. But, yeah.
True. Yeah, I've been running no mither for like the last month strictly. So
Plot twist. Plot twist is an actually decent perk that counters slugging.
I know, and it's so infuriating because you're like, I saw you run over here and plot twist.
Well, not even just that.
I cannot find you.
I mean, not even just that. So let's say the killer is chasing you. Mm-hmm. If the killer is chasing you and you know you're going to go down, just plot twist.
Wait, what does that do? Doesn't he just pick you up?
Yeah. He was going to kill you. He was going to knock you down anyways. But if he was going to slug you, now he can't.
Wait, so if you pick somebody up and drop them back down after they plot twist, are they still in their plot twist?
I believe so, yeah. They can still get it back up.
It feels like that should be a thing, right? Yeah.
I could be wrong, someone can correct me. But yeah, if you plot twist, the killer has to make a choice. They either leave you on the ground so you can get up with plot twist, or they pick you up and put you on a hook. And now they can't slug everybody.
Yeah, as long as plot twist still works after the killer picks you up, then yeah, that's true.
I don't see why it wouldn't. Unbreakable does.
No, I just don't know. I don't have plot twist unlocked, so
I never really thought about it. But I mean, the killer. Yeah, I never really thought about it. I don't know.
It's interesting.
It's a good question. Well,
I might try to test it.
I feel bad for not knowing that. I feel like it's something someone would have mentioned to me at some point.
Yeah, well, as a killer, I've never done that. I'm like, I found you. Get on this hook, dude. So, like, I only really mean people would do that, even if it did work. So, I don't know.
It's one of those things. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot of like I said, plot twist is actually a decent perk that counters slugging. Not like no mither, which does counter slugging, but like, you're also injured. So,
I mean. Yeah, but they buffed Iron Will back, so you leave no blood marks, and you're silent, and if you put on Fixated, you can walk away quick. That's what I've been doing, and I'm super stealthy, which I am a bit of a rat, but I'm the ratatouille of rats, okay? I am a useful rat, all right? And I use another perk that I won't mention.
Is it one that got nerfed or changed, I should say?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Possibly.
So, but yeah, like I don't think there's any like egregious strategies like when that time when boil over was a thing, or when made for this was a thing, or when the 3-gen meta was a thing. Like, there's not really anything like that at the moment, and I think the game is in a bad spot because of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like,
tunneling is on the rise, but that's just the game. It's always been a thing.
True. I mean, that's always going to be a thing. I think.
Well, yeah, even if, I've said this so many times, even if they introduced like 10 different layers that stop someone from getting tunneled, it doesn't matter. If someone wants you dead, they will keep going for you.
Yeah, they'll throw the whole game because now they feel like personally insulted. At least I will.
It's a weird thing with it. Like, right? I've always said this before. It's like, you shouldn't punish people for tunneling. You should incentivize them not to tunnel, because punishing someone for tunneling is just going to lead to people doing it out of spite.
Yeah. True. That's so true.
But if you incentivize them not to tunnel, now they have a reason not to.
Right. Even if that was just blood points, which I would like to talk about blood points a little bit eventually. But
in what way? Talk about it now. Bro. What's up?
Okay. Look, you know how they just gave us 1 million blood points for our Moris that nobody used anyways?
Uh-huh.
I logged in yesterday to play a few games, and I played, I think, 3 games. I had 3 million blood points, and I was trying my best to use them. But it's like I'm getting punished. Like I don't have a lot of time, right? So either I play the game or I waste blood points. So obviously I just, wasted my blood points. I would really appreciate, I don't know if it's like a crate box or just an option to automatically spend 1 million blood points or something. But I have wasted millions upon millions of blood points because simply I do not want to take 10 minutes and spend all of them.
You have Trapper P100, I'd assume, right?
No, he's P12. Yeah, he's P100. Sorry. Yes, he is 12.
So, like, I mean, for you, I'm sure you have a stockpile of add-ons, so it really doesn't matter anyways.
Right. Okay. This was my thing. Okay. If a millionaire earns $30,000 in a day, just because he's a millionaire, does that mean he shouldn't get it just because he already has enough? Like, no, that he still earned it. Like, I would still like those blood
Well,
points.
no. I'm not saying. I mean, I'm agreeing with you as far as like you don't care what they go to, so why can't I just have an auto spend option?
Exactly. I would love that. I would truly love that.
There's probably some technical reason behind why they can't do it.
I don't think there is.
I think it's because the blood webs aren't loaded in until they're actually spent. That would be my guess.
I think they need to redesign the blood web because currently it's like they made this cool thing and they're like, I love this animation. Let's make it semi-automatic, and it's still cool. No one cares. We already looked at every add-on before we clicked that auto thing, and you're still making us look at it for like 5 seconds or so, and then we have to wait another 3 seconds for the next blood web to open. It adds up. I would like an auto spending or be able to spend a bunch of points in like 5 seconds. Truly, I would love that because I'm still sitting at over 2 million. And I'm just getting punished because I don't have enough free time to sit there and look at a blood web be a blood web. That's kind of dumb, in my opinion. But that's just me. I really don't care about the add-ons. I have like a lot. The most add-on I use is Bloody Coil, and I have damn near 500 of them still. Like, I don't need them. But that doesn't mean I don't deserve them, because I did earn them, and you're just not giving them to me. So I'm talking to you like your behavior. I'm sorry. I don't see why I can't spend more of my points quickly.
Well, my best guess is there's a technical reason behind it, as stupid as that is, but that's probably the reason.
True.
Most of the time, it's the reason for like 90% of the things in this game.
True. Yeah, I think behavior wants a good game, and they're not just ignoring something because they hate us. But it doesn't mean it doesn't feel like that sometimes.
I mean, there's no game dev in the world who's like, you know what? I just want my game to suck.
Truly, I try to tell myself that, but
like, why? What do they gain from that? And the way people talk, it seems like people think that's what they want. It's like, what do they realistically gain from their game being super buggy, super unbalanced, having like pay-to-win aspects? Like, no game company realistically gains... Okay, the pay-to-win one maybe, but the rest of them, like... The company doesn't get anything for it. So I don't see why people think they do it on purpose. It's usually a terrible decision that got made, where people didn't think of the consequences, which we're all human, it happens, or like an oversight, or something went wrong in the code. Like there's things that happen all the time that are out of people's control, or just happen because they're humans.
Yeah.
As much shit as I give like other game devs and even behavior for like balancing stuff, it's like they cannot make sure everything is 100% perfectly balanced at all times. It's not possible.
No, because at the end of the day, like, I don't know if this is a good analogy because I just came up with it, but we have killers like Freddy and Trapper that are basically like taking a Honda Civic to a racetrack, and then you have Nurse and Blight that are like taking Lamborghinis, and then you're trying to balance that. I mean, no, that's not going to be balanced ever, but maybe we can have a good race somehow, I don't know. Maybe we can throw bananas out at the Lamborghinis. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Um, it's yeah. I don't care about balance. Truly, I enjoy the game, and I don't care that it's balanced. I just there are some things that would be nice quality of life, and I've heard people say like if they focus too much on quality of life, then they'll not focus on other things that actually make them money and be able to hire people to do stuff. So I'm not a complainer. I'm just, a lot of people are that do play this game. So
moving on from the Lamborghini analogy a bit.
Sorry. You can edit, you can delete that one. Sorry.
Trapper's power level. Now I already mentioned my thoughts on this. Honestly speaking, and I don't care if you're taking perks or add-ons or anything into account, I think we should, because no one's running around in this game most of the time with no perks, no add-ons. Where do you think he falls on a tier list or strength level wise? Genuinely speaking.
Full loadout, full add-ons. I don't see him lower than C tier.
Okay, so he's still at the bottom though.
Okay. Yes. But I gotta say, there's a difference, okay? Because I did test him with no perks and no add-ons for 18 games. And in a row. And it was painful. It was super painful. Like, I legitimately have never... I did it a few days ago. I have never not had so much fun. I hated it. I hated my life. It felt terrible. Truly. He really felt like the worst killer in the entire game. Because his traps meant nothing at all. And I have the results here for those 18 games. I can just read out the kill rate in like 5 seconds if you want me to.
Sure.
We have 2, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 0, 4, 4, 1, 1, 0, 0, 4, 1, 4, 3, 4. And I would like to say, currently, I think I'm the number 23 trapper on Steam, but after it updates, I think I'm the 20th, like, on Steam. That's, like, I know what I'm doing with trapper. And I'm literally losing. I've never lost so many times in my life. It felt so bad. Honestly, it really did. I hated it. So, with no perks or add-ons, bro is at the bottom. Like, he's not even on the piece of paper. He's the carpet underneath the floor. Like,
the thing is, though, even with perks and add-ons, like you said C, but, like, I think where he is now, being in D on most charts, that's the outlier group. It's like the S tier at the top, right? Like, the S tiers are like Nurse, Blight, right, and Hillbilly right now. They're the killers that are so good that they are, like, in their own league. Trapper, Freddy, Myers, and now Skull Merchant are in D tier. They're killers that are so bad they're also in their own league. Now, granted, most people don't take add-ons into account. Because it skews it too much. But I do think with add-ons, like, even if he's in C tier, he's still at the bottom. He's just average at that point.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. He sucks. But, I mean, I still do well. I can tell you this. If I didn't do well with him, if I didn't win most of my games, I wouldn't be playing him.
Well, that's the other thing, though, is like tier list and strength level doesn't really determine win rate.
True. I think his kill rate's higher than a lot of other killers.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of factors into that, but, I always joke where it's like, honestly speaking, every killer is like S tier. It just depends on the lobby.
No, you're so right.
And the person playing them.
Yeah, like I could play so many games in a row and be like, yeah, this killer's fine. But it was about a month ago. I went against Team Elysium, and they pushed my shit in where I felt like a little baby. I was like, yo, I was not prepared for that at all. I was like, yeah, give Trapper every add-on base kit, and I might have stand a chance. Like, dude, like, oh my god,
You got humbled.
bro. I in the in-game chat, I was like, who are you guys? And they just said GG's and left. And I looked at their profiles, and I was like, they're all on Team Elysium. I felt humbled, but I also felt like, am I even good at this game anymore? Like, they literally, like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Those are the worst matches when you like reconsider if you're even good at the game. Why am I even playing this game?
There could have been 2 trappers. I think they would have been okay, to be honest. Yeah.
Which leads on to another question of do you have any tips for newer Trapper players? Now, Trapper's a weird one because he's often a newer killer for a lot of people because he's the first killer. He's on the box. Mm-hmm. But do you have any general tips for people picking up Trapper?
Yeah, the biggest thing, you have to learn how to place down your traps, specifically at pallets and in doorways, especially because for whatever reason, behavior made doorways like almost impossible to trap sometimes, especially like on the game. Like, you can trap it, but yeah, just really pay attention to master that first before you do anything else. Because if you know where to put a trap and then you just place it there, I can guarantee you they're just going to walk through it and you're not going to. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to give up on this killer and say he sucks. You're going to make tier list and you're just going to put him at the bottom and you're not going to want to play him. And I think that sucks. Okay, because when you play someone like Hag, you just put a trap down and you're like, that's going to work. And it does. But you can't do that with Trapper. You have to be precise almost every single time. So please learn how to put your traps down, especially when it comes to window vaulting, assuming the game's not bugged. Yeah, definitely work on that. Another tip is, what is it? Honestly, like, one out of the box is kind of like pretend you're a survivor and go off of that knowledge. Like, where would you run to if a killer chased you from this direction? And then you'll be surprised how much value you get from traps like that. Mm-hmm. For sure. And then last tip would to be run his strongest add-ons, honestly. Yeah, you kind of have to, because people will harass them, and I want you to get good at this killer before you get frustrated with this killer. So that if that means you have to bring good stuff so you don't give up on him, then so be it. Yeah.
Understandable. I think he's one. It's like Ghostface. I think Ghostface is another killer where I'm like, yeah, dude, even if you're learning the killer, bring the best stuff. Just fuck it. You're not gonna learn the killer if you just keep getting your face stomped in every match.
It's true. And once you learn him, like, I felt very confident with Trapper after like 300 hours total. And that was mostly on Survivor. So, but no one's dumping 150 hours on Trapper, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But if you did, then you can feel very confident with him. And most of it is map knowledge. So if you're not going to take the time to learn how to play a map, then, like, every time I load into a game, I'm not like, what should I do this time? I'm like, I know what to do this time. Like, within 10 seconds, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing for the next minute or two. And I can already see the end game happening. But some people don't want to think that hard. They just want to go fast and hit survivors, and that's fine. But if you want to play Trapper, you can't just go in there and expect to do well just putting traps at strong loops. Like, it might work, but not for very long. If you stick with Trapper, that doesn't work a long time because you're going to face better survivors. So, yeah.
Do you, and then for going against Trapper, again, there's probably a lot of guides on this and such, but if you had to pick one tip for going against Trapper, do you have a particular one?
Yep.
What is that?
Number one tip is to stick together, at least groups in 2, even if you really dislike your partner. Even if they're missing skill checks every 30 seconds or so.
I think he's like the only one of the few killers I can think of where that's actually what you should be doing.
Yup.
Most every other killer, it's split up, but no, not for Trapper. He can't really do anything if you're all together.
Yeah. No, I hate when people stick together. It's like, I caught you in the trap. You're out in 1.8 seconds? That sucks. It truly sucks. It really, really sucks. And especially if you're bringing strong add-ons, stick together. Groups of 2. Do it. And you will probably not lose. Even if you go against me, I can't really do anything if I can't hold you there, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably my best tip for him. And then also do this really cool thing where everyone just uses filters, and then just see his traps for free. So,
okay.
Yeah, and if that's not enough, Behavior added this thing called maps, and they can see your power, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, they can see killer belongings.
Bro, I literally dodge. Those are the only lobbies I dodge. Truly,
what
you bring
maps?
A map, I'm out of there, dude. And I recently, there's a few games in this VOD you're watching where I didn't pay attention. And you can win, but it's super frustrating. So
I feel like it shouldn't show you Trapper's trap. It seems really dumb.
Bro, that's where I'm like, Behavior, like, do you hate me or are you working on something else?
He's like the only killer it affects.
It really does. And you know what else? The other reason, like, one of the maps I hate the most is Bargo, because they place their pallets in a way that doesn't matter to every killer except me, because I have to cockeye them, and I don't even know if that's going to work. I don't know if you can visualize what I'm saying right now, but those pallets are ridiculous. They have like a...
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, there's one loop on Borgo. I'm remembering this. It's a pallet in a window in like a shack type of thing, and it's like the pallet, and then like you go a little to the left, and there's a window. That loop is almost impossible for like every killer in the game to play if the pallet is down. It's not even a god pallet. It's just like really, really difficult, just because of how it's set up.
Once again, I'm super glad that they got rid of all the free scratch marks around the map. That was really nice. So
improvements.
Bro, that hurt so bad.
Are you a big lore head on for Dead by Daylight at all?
Not really.
So
but
if I asked you how good Trapper's lore, or what you think about Trapper's lore, you wouldn't really have a response?
I mean, I could. I think I know some of it. It's like, basically he just like, admired his father and was kind of maybe slightly brainwashed into doing bad things.
Well, there's a question to be asked if parents, if it's your parent, if it's really brainwashing. But yeah, go ahead.
I believe so. Yeah.
Is it brainwashing or is it just teaching?
Oh, I like the way you think. Because I'm not brainwashing, I'm teaching.
Well, no, I'm just saying, because like if it's your parents, it's technically not brainwashing. Because brainwashing would imply, and maybe I'm incorrect on what the actual definition is, brainwashing would imply that your mind is being changed. But if it's your parents, your whole life, your mind isn't being changed. It's being warped.
Yeah, it's being molded.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. But then that leads into the idea of like environmental versus external factors to like
nature versus nurture.
Yeah, it's a weird argument. But yeah, basically brainwashed by his father.
Yeah, Evan's a good boy. I don't care what anyone says.
Did you know how people say like he fought back against the entity? Do you know where that comes from, by the way? Because it's not in his lore. I know where it's from.
Is it like... I'll just let you talk so I don't look foolish.
In DBD Mobile, there's a cutscene of him fighting the entity.
No way.
Yeah, and that's where the hooks come from.
I mean, I always heard about the hooks. I didn't know that it was in DBD Mobile.
Yeah, in DBD Mobile, there's a cutscene of him fighting the entity.
Wait, but no one knows what the entity looks like.
Well, quote, fighting the entity, end quote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
But that's where that whole idea of him like used to being a survivor came from, when that's never been confirmed, by the way.
I like to think that he was. Because wasn't, like, apparently, like, this goes back down to, like, ancient times, I've heard. I don't know how true that is. But, like, Roman times and stuff like that, I've heard that's existed. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not into lore too much. But I think it's interesting. I just don't think it's done very well all the time. So
it's a PvP game. Most lore in PvP games isn't done very well.
True.
I wish companies would be better about it. I feel like it's something that gets neglected a lot, and I feel it actually is very important. As much as people like to say they don't care, they only don't care because it's there. If it wasn't there, they would care.
Right. Yeah, they'd be like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right."
Moving on a bit. Maps. You already mentioned Borgo, but if you had to pick one map you love and one map you despise, which would it be?
Well, okay, there's so many, but I think it would be very funny to have it on the same realm. So we'll say Bargo. Okay. Every map has a redeeming quality. So, but I really hate Bargo. But I also like its other half, Forgotten Ruins.
The one with the portals?
The one with the castle?
Yeah, the portals and such.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought you said cornholes. I was like,
no.
That's cool.
Cornhole. There are people who are not from America, and particularly the southern side of America, who have no idea what we're talking about.
No, Americans throw corn in holes, and it's fun.
For those listening that don't know what cornhole is, you can Google it, or I'll just tell you.
Yeah,
basically,
spell it with a C. Don't Google it. Yeah.
Cornhole is just horseshoes, but cheaper. It's
much cheaper. Sorry, we got off subject on that one. Yes, so that one, ever since like day one of that coming out, I figured it out immediately. Mm-hmm. Everyone says the top is busted, and it probably is. But for Trapper, definitely the bottom is busted, like to all hell.
That's the thing I like about the map, is that like for most killers the top is the good part, but for some the bottom's the good part.
It's a really good part, and they've tried to nerf it. There were so many clips inside there when it first came out. It was insane.
I really like it. And as far as the portal goes, I like the idea. I would love it, and I don't know how realistic it would be to do if it was like actual portals and you didn't have to press a button to go through.
Oh.
If could you imagine a hunter throwing hatchets through portals?
That would be so cool.
That would be badass. I would love it. I don't know how possible it is, but I mean, again, if Portal could do it in 2008, I think Dead by Daylight could do it in 2024. Just saying.
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually.
That's my only conceit with the map, is that the portals are a little busted for Survivor, but even then, I don't think it's as bad as some people make it out to be, especially on most killers. There's some that really, really struggle for it, but here's my suggestion for that. Don't chase them through the portals then. Just stick on your side of the map.
True. What if you had, like, Trickster's trick blades and you found the right angle to, like, get through all the portals just to have a continuous?
Oh, that would be so cool. I would love it.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I feel like if the portals were, like, constant, like, up, it would be way more interesting than they currently are.
Yeah. But no, truly, never lost on that map. It's so easy to lock down, and it's like I played on it. I think the second or third time I played on that map, I love checking Steam profiles just for hours, just to see what, I'm curious. I don't know. And I saw this one guy. He had almost 16,000 hours, and I loaded in with no perks. I'm like, oh no. Oh no, this guy knows what he's doing, probably. Okay, more than probably. I mean, I still won. because that map is busted for Trapper, and I don't know how they would change it without just changing all the choke points in it. But
Is that your map though? For like the map you want to keep is Forgotten Ruins?
I mean, keep?
Well, okay, not keep. Well, which map do you love the most?
RPD.
Really?
Why? Wait, what do you mean?
I can see it. I can see it for Trapper.
Okay.
No, the more I think about it, I can see it for Trapper.
I love choke points.
Mm-hmm.
I love choke points. That's why I hate maps like Sheltered Woods, where it's like, yes, there's grass there, but also you can run 360 degrees. So, like, I still do well on those maps, but, you know, I don't know. And I've grown to actually like maps like Eerie, because I'm like, okay, no more cool traps. Let's play Chase Trapper. It's been like 7 games. We haven't played Chase Trapper in a while, and it's okay.
I think Eerie's overhated. I don't think it's that bad. I really don't think it's that bad of a map.
By nature, Trapper mains want to surprise you. That's what that's what they do. Mm-hmm. And you just can't do that except for Shack, where you can clip most of your trap into Shack's little sand piles. But besides that, there's really nothing you can do. But I've definitely heard that you like that map for Chucky.
I like that map in general, not just Chucky. I think it's Chucky's best map, but I like the map in general.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really, really, really pretty. All of the maps are, except
Swamp.
Well, okay. Well, there's Swamp.
Swamp exists. It's not even.
Swamp.
It's not even like Swamp doesn't even look good. And like, it's so like disgusting. It looks good. No, it just looks bad.
You're right. But you're biased because you're a little baby doll and you can't see through the grass. So.
my favorite thing. I think it was stream a couple weeks ago. Someone was like, I was complaining about Swamp as Chucky, and someone was like, yeah, but we can't see you through the grass. And I was like, well, I can't see you through the grass, so it doesn't really matter. Now,
yeah, and we can see the grass moving a bit, I think, right?
Yeah, and you also can hear my terror radius and see my footsteps and see the giant red bright hair. I can't see shit.
That's so true. I love Chucky so much.
It's like ask any Xenomorph player. They hate Swamp for the same reason. Because when you're in runner mode, your FOV goes lower to the ground.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Is there any other killer do that?
Blight used to do that on his PTB.
Why?
Because he's hunched.
He has scoliosis that bad?
Well, yeah, so on the PTB, he was hunched, or he still is, but like because he's hunched over like he is, his FOV was lower to the ground.
Oh, wow.
Very similar to how runner mode is on Xenomorph, which on Xenomorph, it's fine and it kind of works. For Blight, though, it didn't because... because he's a movement killer. Mm-hmm. Because how his dash works. So yeah, the FOV just kind of, and it also made like what things you could bump on look very strange because you were lower. It was very weird. They fixed it before he came out, obviously, but still.
Well, Blight deserves to be punished. So,
Jesus.
You know.
Blight's been punished enough.
No, that's true. Actually, never mind. I'm sorry.
Why was it like 7 patch notes in a row? Can we stop? Like, don't get me wrong. I know I play a killer that like probably deserves to be a little nerfed now, but like, man, people forget that Blight was nerfed like 7 times in a row.
That's so true. You're right. I'm sorry, Blight. I take it back. Take it back.
I forgot which map you said you love the most. Is it RPD?
Oh, yeah. But the trick is honestly, I think I love every map. The only map I actively hate is Nostromo or Nostromo.
Really?
Yep.
Just because it's so open?
It's ugly. And except the sky. The sky's pretty. But I'm not looking at the sky, okay? If you're playing against me, you're also looking at the ground. So it's an ugly ass map. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what it is. It looks like it's made out of Play-Doh that hardened. Like, I don't like it. I just came up with that. I don't know if that's true, but It looks gross.
It's biofoam.
And also people can see you like from very far away. So
Yeah, there's not a lot of cover there unless you're playing a small little doll man.
yeah.
Even then, though, most Chucky players hate Nostromo too because the collision sucks.
Yeah, there's so many things there, and there's no grass, and there's like only one redeeming quality about it for Trapper specifically.
Is it the inside? The ship?
Well, yes, but typically only 2 generators spawn in there. But you can trap those up pretty well. So I just don't like it. I don't like it.
I wish they remade it and made it so the ship was bigger, and the outside was there, but like not as prevalent as it is.
Yeah, well, when I play with my friends, like when I say, "Oh, I'm injured, come meet me at the ship," or the shack, or whatever, and they're like, "I'm here," and I'm like, "You're at the big one, aren't you?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, come on."
The amount of people I tell that little ship thing is the shack of that map, people just don't know.
Well, look, I was thinking about bringing like a shack offering just to make sure. Like, is that a shack?
Yeah, it's
like,
shack.
It is shack.
It's considered shack.
Okay. I mean, I always considered it. I just didn't know if the game.
It's one of the few shacks in the game that's different from the other ones, quote unquote.
I like it. I think that's super unique. Oh, did I just compliment this map?
I do wish more and more maps were like Nostromo has some cool things on it. It has like the interactable Steam vents that I wish were something that was on other maps.
You're right. There's some cool things about it, okay, but well, they only hurt me, to be honest. So, I hate getting sauna steamed immediately and going slow. I don't know, but it is pretty cool in that sense. I don't like it. There's no grass. Okay. So
I forgot to put this question in here, but skins. Trapper has a lot of skins. A lot of skins. Just from virtue of him being Dead by Daylight's poster boy, and for him being literally the oldest killer in the game.
He's like 30 something, so you can chill on the old part, but yeah.
But do you have a favorite skin that you like running?
Okay. I have a favorite skin that I like to run, but okay, it's Krampus.
It's Krampus?
I love Krampus. He is so cool. He looks like, even if you're not scared of Trapper, you're like, damn, like it's a little demon, like he looks awesome.
It's a little demon.
I don't know why I said little, but he is so cool looking. And I remember I wanted that skin when I first started playing Trapper. It took me forever to save up the eerie shards, and I felt so proud of him. And I was playing against him, and someone said something negative to me, and I just got sad. But anyways, off subject. I love that skin. However, because Trapper benefits from looking like a default Trapper, I only run default Trapper. I do. I'm sorry.
You don't wear frosty eyes?
No. I used to. That's only if I really want to throw it and make it look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Not a fan of the Naughty Bear skin?
Nope.
Really?
I'm not. I'm sorry. Okay, look, I'm a weird Trapper main. I don't run corrupt. All right, I don't do these things. I do love Naughty Bear. And I love that he talks, but I cannot. He's the only killer I've played. I cannot get used to the different animations of climbing through windows and picking up traps. It feels off-putting.
Well, I mean, there's a reason people often just claim Naughty Bear as a different killer, pretty much. He's the same exact killer, but he's basically his own killer at this point.
No, he really feels different, truly. And those small things it makes me feel like weird about it. I don't like it. And the other thing is I play pretty mean most of the time until there's one person left, and I always give hatch. But literally always give hatch, except for the VOD you're watching. So, yeah. People expect me to be like, oh, you're not even being a silly Naughty Bear. I'm like, bro, let me just kill you.
Did you play the Naughty Bear games at all?
No, but I've watched some gameplay.
I actually played them years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I love them. They're really bad and really dumb, but There's something about they have like a charm to them. They're like
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, you're my age, so like you remember like back in the day, like sometimes games would just release that were just really really bad, but like they got rented, so you had to play them.
Yeah.
Um, or like your grandma
What
would
was it
like,
released on?
yeah, it's 360 PS3.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. So it's not like super super old.
No, it's like 2010, I think, is when it came out.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, I sound old.
I mean,
Not
it
too
was a
old.
game, and it's funny because you can see the Trapper inspiration in the game. I mean, it was a game where you could make the teddy bears on the island go so crazy they would unalive themselves.
Okay, well I've definitely said the K word, so I'm so sorry
No,
about that
you can
earlier.
say kill. I would
Okay.
rather it not be with the other stuff. The game's called Dead by Daylight. Like if I'm gonna get access spent, then I'm good. Like it's gonna happen anyways. Um, but yeah, like Naughty Bear, like yeah, because that was behavior before they were behavior.
Oh.
It was a very interesting game.
Hmm.
Did you not know that was behavior like behavior's first game?
Is it their first game?
Not their first one, but it was like their first like original game. They did a lot of licensed games before that.
I'm gonna be honest, that kind of makes me like Naughty Bear a little bit more.
That's
That
part of
is
the
like,
reason. Yeah, that's why he's in the game.
well, yeah, I kind of knew that, but I don't know. There's a difference about knowing something and talking about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, for real. Go watch like a playthrough, and it's a very 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 broken messy game, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
Dead by Daylight. Um, but it's an interesting one and definitely a big part of their history. And I'm glad
Okay.
they referenced it because it's one of those things where like the people that know about it, and the ones that don't, no idea what the fuck it is.
True.
Um,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the other thing is I feel like I'm gonna get fat shamed if I use Naughty Bear. I don't know if that's true,
I
but it
think
feels like it would be.
I think
I
the
don't know.
FOV of the weapon makes it a little different.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It is very cool being a teddy bear, but
And the different
yeah.
Mori. The different Mori is nice.
Yes, the different more is nice. It does take a little bit longer. I think 2 or 3 seconds longer.
It's worth it. Do you know who has the shortest Mori in the game?
Pyramid Head?
Pig.
What? Doesn't Pyramid Head just hit you with the
Well,
sword? What does Pig do?
his final judgment, his actual Mori isn't short.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay.
like actual Mori.
Like an actual Mori.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's Pig.
Well, like I said, I've seen like 3 this year, so
Yeah, Pigs is 12 seconds long.
12.
Yep,
Wait, who has the fastest one?
that is the fastest.
12?
Yep.
Nuh-uh. Trapper's base kit's like 10.
Am I misremembering?
Yeah, you are. I'm
think-
sorry.
I'm sorry.
You can delete this part where I
Yeah,
fact checked
okay,
you,
my
but
bad. I think Pigs is actually 9 seconds. It's really really
It
short.
might be 9, yeah.
It's really short. It's the shortest in the game. Last I checked.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well,
She's pretty short too, so. Yeah.
Making fun of Amanda. I see. Is there a skin you hate? Like a skin line you don't like?
Yes, there is actually, and I feel bad saying it because I've never even equipped it. I really hate his hockey one.
His hockey one, the Jason
Yes.
reference.
Is it a Jason reference?
Yes, Trapper is a whole Jason reference.
Whoa, Trapper's Trapper. Oh my God, who's just Jason, guy? His name's Evan.
Yeah, and Hillbilly is definitely not supposed to be Bubba.
I don't know who's supposed to be. Look, I just don't like it. Okay, because you either need to go so silly, something like Naughty Bear, that it's like this is meant to be silly, or you need to go something so scary that it's like Krampus. It's like I like that. I don't like the in between kind of like this is silly and scary. For some reason it's just personal. I just don't like it. Like if he could hit you like he hits a hockey puck, I might reconsider it and you, like fall on your ass. But I don't think that's the case. So as of now, I really dislike that one a lot for no reason at all. Just don't like it.
I got you. If you had a dream skin that you would want for Trapper, what would it be?
I think you can see it.
Oh, the chef. The chef.
Yo.
Chef.
Imagine getting hit by a whisk. Let's go. That's so cool.
I would actually kind of like it. I mean, we've done the barbecue events. They could totally do it. Doesn't?
Oh my god, they could.
Yeah, Clown has the hot dog boy one. It's like I could see it.
Yeah, no, I was kind of joking, but I would like the skin. Imagine like a chef running at you or Gordon Ramsay. That's scary as hell.
He doesn't have the hooked on you skin, does he? I didn't even. I always forget this.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, only Spirit and Huntress got them. Yeah, I would. I feel like Trappers deserves to get his hooked on you skin.
Yeah,
honestly.
But I'm not going to complain. They've really given him a lot, so
I think though Trapper again, and there's going to be a few viewer questions about this, but him being like basically the poster boy for the game, I think he's fine getting a lot of skins.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
I think he earns it and deserves it just based on that alone. You know?
Bro's been in here forever, literally, since it started. I mean, yeah, I'm really happy with the skins they have given him.
Even the newer ones, like the golden suit one that he just got recently, so good.
I was gonna say something, but I'll refrain. But yes, I love that one too. I don't have it yet, but I do plan on getting it. That one looks really cool.
Moving on a bit, I know you have a few of these written down, but you said you were number 20 on Trapper on Steam.
If you check the stats now, I think I'm 23. But I think once it updates, which is every few days, then yeah, I'll be at the number 20 spot. Yep.
Interesting. What is it based on? Is it survivors hit with a trap?
So I didn't know about the leaderboard at all until about 4 months ago. If I knew about it from day one, I would be quite a bit higher on the leaderboard. But yeah, so it's stupid. I did testing because when I checked the leaderboard, I was like right next to Otstarva, and I was like, oh my god, does this mean I'm good? I don't know.
What is it? Like, how many is it?
I'm at around 2,600 bear trap catches. But I think once it updates, I'll be at like 2,800 something.
That is insane. That's a really... Wait, 2,800 or 28,000?
Okay, see? It's 2,800, but I'll tell you something, okay? Because I thought it was bear trap catches, because that's what it says it is. I went and did some testing, and I played 2 days. I got 241 traps. Survivor's trap, because I was just running Eerie. And I was trapping the shit out of everybody. And I was like, I'm going to climb this leaderboard. And I checked when it updated, and I got like 40. And I was like, oh, it's lying to me. Like, why are you only giving me 40? I got 241. And then I realized that's about as many times as I picked them up. You have to trap them and pick them up out of the trap to count, which is a bad idea sometimes. So, yeah.
Probably doesn't count hits either when they're in the trap.
No. You have to pick them up out of the trap and get immediately flashlight saved every single time. So,
hey, can you fix these leaderboard things? Can you just add a leaderboard? I know I say this every podcast, but just add a leaderboard.
I don't see why they don't, truly, because guess what? We still have our old leaderboards for now. Just add a different one, and we can all start fresh.
Or just like for some killers, can you just at least adjust them? Like Twins is stupid, Plagues is stupid, Chucky's stupid, Vecna's is stupid.
Wait, what's Vecna's?
I think it's a hit after using a spell.
Like a M1 hit?
Yeah.
Like within like
I think
5 seconds.
5 seconds. Yeah.
Wait, did I just guess that right? Cool.
I think so.
Nice.
If it's something like that.
That's kind of weird.
I mean, it works. I just wish it was like times you've used each spell or something.
Oh, so they're like lift that pallet up that the survivor just dropped and then hit them, and then you get a point. Okay.
Yeah, or just shoot off a dispelling spear and then hit somebody.
Hit somebody with a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
Yeah, so it's picking them up out of the traps, which is actively a bad idea. So it's 2800, and yeah, I think the top trapper is extremely high. It's like at, I think he's almost at 30,000. So there's a disparity there for sure. But but yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, top 20 is not bad considering.
No, it's not bad at all considering you started when you did.
Yeah, and he's been out for so long. So.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, like Horser has been on here for Nemesis, and Horser got like top of the leaderboards on Nemesis, and he didn't start playing Nemi until like 2 years after release.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Nemesis has only been out like 3 years though.
20, like a year after release. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes
a little bit after release is what I'm saying is like even then like it's still possible. I'm never catching up on Chucky, but
yeah, I know. That's sad.
It'll never happen. I just gave up. There's no point.
That's true. It's okay. It's okay. I just wish it's fine. You know what? I didn't even know leaderboards existed until a few months ago, so I won't complain. And I hate every time I do bring up a leaderboard, like where I'll talk to somebody, typically on YouTube, and I'm like, not as a top trapper, but like I'll be like, like I'm on the leaderboard, I'm pretty high up there, and they're like, I'm number 29 if you're number 30, and I'm like, I mean, I'm not lying, dude, but okay.
Just I don't know. Look at the leaderboard. It's public. Just go look at the leaderboard.
Yeah. I literally dropped the link, and he's like, I don't care. This doesn't even count. I'm like, dude, why are you so mean to me? First off, like, I'm definitely tunneling you if I ever see you in the fog. But
time for the viewers submitted questions.
Okay.
From Arshimi Bob, our resident Vecna main. If the trapper was called the Rapper, what would his #1 album be? Do you think he'd have a successful career in the fog after the death of his mentor?
Wait, who's his mentor?
I guess his dad. His dad. That would be his mentor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he does have an album out.
He does.
It's called... Yeah. Yep.
What was it called?
It's called Trapping and Hurting.
Okay. I feel like you're making this up on the spot.
Nope. Nope. He does have that. Okay. I can. Yeah, he does. He's a rapper. I'm not gonna lie. I can send it to you later if you want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll put it down. I'll put it in the link below.
Yeah. What was about his mentor? What was it?
Do you think he'd have a successful career in the fog after the death of his mentor?
I mean, he's at the bottom of the tier list. So. No.
Good point.
I guess no. He has a sustainable one though. Yeah.
Right. We talked about this a little bit already, but from Dave, how would you buff Trapper into at least high B, low A, without him being a nightmare for beginners or basement oppressive?
Well, he can't be the nightmare because that already exists. So it's an invalid question. But yeah. He needs some buffs. Definitely giving him, something, just make him more consistent. Yeah, we did talk about this, but yeah, giving him a timer with add-ons that can increase it to give him more consistency, I think would be a huge help. But what else did we talk about?
I mean, I said it already. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, and the other thing is, dude, I don't want him in A tier at all. So yeah. I maybe it doesn't matter what I want, but I don't. I play Trapper because he kind of sucks, dude. To be honest.
I mean, like I said, I talked about it already a little bit, but because of his nature of being a trap killer, he can't be in a high tier. Like, it's just not possible. Unless they make the traps undisarmable, but that would be so bad.
Truly. Like, if you're good with him, he's as oppressive as you want him to be. If you're not willing to put in that time, yeah, he sucks, dude. I'm sorry, he sucks. But truly, if you want to get better at him, there are guides out there. I've made one. Link in the bottom if the budget allows it. And
I'll remember.
okay. Yeah, and I talk about that stuff in detail. And if you're having like trouble with certain maps or situations, like it really is the case of just getting better and having knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you really don't have anything. Like I could spawn onto a brand new map and figure out what I need to do on that map to have a successful match. So he's a different type of killer. He's more methodical. He's more future planning. And if that's not your playstyle, then there's like dozens of other killers that are your playstyle, probably. So I think he's okay. He does need buffs, 100% needs them. But I don't think him being at A tier is realistic. And I don't think it's necessary at all.
No, I think killers being in like with the buffs we suggested, him going to C tier would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, C tier's fine. That feels good. You don't want to have people that dislike your killer. Mm-hmm. So there's no need for that. No need to be an A tier. Truly.
Next question from Jacob the dog. How often do randomly placed traps work for you? I try to be as random as possible for a surprise factor, but they often never work.
Okay. So by random, do you just mean like that's a nice bush and I'm going to put a trap in there?
Yeah, like that's a nice boulder. I'm going to put a trap by it for literally no reason.
Insert Donkey from Shrek. That's a nice boulder. Yeah. I can confidently say I've never placed down a random trap unless it was to get rid of a trap so I could pick up another trap and enter a building because Trapper can't step over his own traps. I've never done that. And random traps, if you want to have random traps successful, pretend you're a survivor. Like I said, if you see a generator and you see a window 50 feet away from that generator and there's nothing else, like on Shelter Woods, there's really not too much to run to. So you can confidently say they're going to this one or this one. Trap in between those two pieces. Survivors don't run in like S-shaped formation. They run in straight lines unless you're like Deathslinger or Huntress. If you're going against Trapper, you're running in a straight line. Mm. You shouldn't, but you do. Put it there, literally anywhere. Put two of them. That way when they see you put down one, they'll disarm that one. They'll run across and they're like, I'm safe. And like, this psycho put two in a straight line and it works. Again, this is, there's examples in the guide for this. But it's really thinking a little bit outside of the box as far as random traps. And predicting, the reason I love 3 generators so much is because you can predict survivors' movements 80% better.
Don't say the word. Don't say it.
Wait. Delete that one. Sorry. Or what timestamp are we at?
You know the word. Okay. I know what word you're about to say. Don't say it.
Okay.
The Daylight community hates that word.
Okay. If there's a cluster.
No, not that word. Not that word. It's the C word.
I have a bad mind. Wait, which word is that?
Chess.
Wait, no, don't say it.
Chess.
Oh.
The Daylight community hates that fucking word.
But you are, truly. Mm-hmm. You might be playing chess by yourself. But no, truly. The random traps are some of my favorites because those are the ones that get reactions. Where they're, it's so fun. But yeah, like I said, if you have questions, then you can always just leave a YouTube comment, and I'll definitely read it since no one leaves.
Do you play Rainbow Six Siege or know of it?
I know of it, yeah.
So in Rainbow Six Siege, Capcan is a character who can also place traps. He places little laser nail traps on doorways.
Oh.
And when Dead by Daylight did the collab with Rainbow Six, Capcan's the one who got the Trapper skin.
Wait. There's a game with Trapper in it?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege. They gave Capcan the Trapper skin.
Oh my god, I'm downloading that game right now. That's so cool.
What's really funny about it is you're talking about, like, who puts that trap there? People say the same thing about that character too. It only upsets me personally because there's a character in that game called Frost who literally has bear traps as her power, and they didn't give her the Trapper skin. Oh. It would have made so much more sense for her.
That's upsetting for those people. Oh well. That's okay, I guess.
It is what it is. Yeah, look into it later though. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege got a Huntress skin and a Trapper skin. I forgot who got Huntress.
What? They're collabing? Like, is it a behavior game?
No, it's a Ubisoft game.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Remember when we got the Rainbow Six Siege? Remember Torbjorn and you don't really see the skins anymore, but like the Wamai skin and things like that.
Was one of them a Trapper skin?
No. I'm just saying we got Survivor skins from Rainbow Six in the game.
I don't know. I only play Laurie Strode, so
okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
Next question from Zen. I think I'm saying that right. It's XYN, so why not? Personally, I feel like Trapper is very bland. Place trap at pallet or window, and now no loop. It feels uninteractive, in my opinion. Do you feel like there is a valuable way to make changes to Trapper that are beneficial and feel more interactive for both sides? If so, what?
More interactive?
Mm-hmm. They could do a mini game on the traps.
Yeah, that would be fun. Right? Because I like when I think of an interactive killer, like the only thing I can think of is like Vecna, which is so funny that you can play Vecna and you're like, you think you're going against Trapper, but it's just Vecna and you got unlucky.
I'm going to be perfectly honest. And this is no hate to anybody who ever brings this up, but whenever people say they want a killer that's interactive, I don't know what they mean.
No. And honestly, I'm just going to say this. I love that person, but I don't like your question. A lot of people hate Trapper and that's okay, but there's so much variety in this game. And, personally, I go against a Trapper like maybe twice a week. Like, I don't go against them. So, if you have a bad game, I don't know. I mostly go against like Ghostface and Myers just, tombstoning me. But I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, honestly. To make it more interactive, like maybe you could and while you're disarming a trap, you can like pick an emote to do, like Fortnite. That's super cool.
That from the next question from Lieutenant Boosted is, can Trapper gritty?
He can. Can you show this actually?
Show what? I mean,
if I sent you something.
Yeah. If you send it to me, I can show it.
Okay. You can keep talking. I will.
The next serious question: did the 7.5% haste buff do something for Trapper, or do you feel like it's a placebo effect?
It feels really good on maps like Midwich or just smaller maps in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta be honest, Cold Wind or something like Temple of Purgation, that it doesn't really feel like anything, but I have a feeling that if it got taken away, I wouldn't like it. It does something, but it's never given me a free down. Mm-hmm. I don't think, without running other add-ons and perks to add to that bonus.
It's just nice. It's supposed to make up for the trap setting speed.
Yeah, and before we maybe forget, possibly, instead of corrupt intervention, I would love a perk that just gives you somewhat of a sprint burst for like a minute and a half straight, unless you hit or injured a survivor in any way, except maybe plot twist. But
at the beginning of the match.
Yep. Because when 2v8 came out and you could place a trap and move at 150% speed, that felt amazing. It was only for like 3 seconds, but you could place down so many traps. You were moving that fast pretty much the first 2 minutes of the game anyways. I think that would be really cool, and I would definitely use that perk. But
I could see it being a problem on a few killers. Which is
absolutely.
always an issue.
Oni would use it every single time. Oni's like, I get a free hit finally. Cool. But yeah, you're right. It's problematic.
I could see it maybe like if it was like 5 seconds. I know that doesn't seem like much, but like, and then like it increases your haste effects or something. That might be too much. I don't know. I have to think about it because it would have to do something else.
True.
Like it's like Lethal Pursuer. Like Lethal Pursuer was great, but like the fact that it didn't do anything else kind of felt bad.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Next,
some killers take advantage of that for sure.
Next question from White Breadman. Why decide to main Trapper, and where would you rank him compared to other killers? We've already answered both of these questions, but if you want to reiterate, you can.
Yeah. He has my first name. And honestly, when I'm watching a streamer's VOD back and they're like, "It's Evan," I have a small panic attack, and I'm like, "How do they know my name?" I always think that's funny. But yeah, I like him because he is bad. I like that. If I win a match, I like that someone can't say I won because I am overpowered. I'm just kind of like that. I like the fact that he's the underdog. Truly, I like difficulties. I like challenges.
Of course, Boosted is the one who made this.
Did you watch it?
I'm watching it now.
Wait, is it on stream?
Yes.
Perfect. Tell me he can't gritty.
Tell me he can't. Next question from Matt is okay, who was in the chat earlier. How do you wake up every morning just to play Trapper?
Bruh.
I am so sorry that my questionnaires can't give me serious fucking questions.
I love him. I truly love him because, like I said, you know what? It's just nice winning against, people that think they're going to shit on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have so many clips, like a whole archive that only I'm going to watch of people saying, "Yeah, it's Trapper." And then I cut to end game and they're like, "Nerf Trapper, this sucks." I love that. I live for that. Truly. I don't know what that makes me, but I love people saying stuff like that.
This is the worst thing imaginable.
What, the gritty?
No, just people's reaction to Trapper.
Yeah.
From Noob King 3000 on YouTube. What if instead? Okay, that's the same question. All right, thank you, Archie. From Deity, do you think Trapper should have a big power overhaul to be more in line with current killer design, or do you think he fundamentally needs to be restrained?
Restrained?
So do you think? Remember how I said earlier, if a trap killer is good, that it's kind of a bad thing because it's very frustrating.
Right.
So do you think he's bad on purpose because of that?
Maybe. Look, I feel like all these questions are the same. Like,
yeah,
is Trapper, like, how is Trapper not going to be bad anymore? And he needs to be bad, truly. But like I said, just take a little bit of time to figure out how he works, and he's not bad at all. With me, I don't think I'm playing a C tier killer at all. I think I'm playing a low A tier killer the way I play him, and low A tier killers win almost every game.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like if I really thought this killer sucked, and I was losing, let's say 10 games, let's say I lose 2 out of those 10 games, I would probably pick a different killer. My ego won't let me lose that many times. Mm-hmm. That's why when I did the no perks and no add-ons for 18 games in a row, like I mentally checked out. Like I physically was hurting. Like I really did not like that at all. So yeah, I mean, the answer to most of these questions is just add 5 of his, add-on space kit.
Fair
but,
enough. The next question's a little bit more interesting one, I think.
Okay.
From Theo Me. Do you think Trapper makes a good poster boy for the game? Do you think someone else would work better?
Oh, no, he's the perfect poster boy. Yep. Well, I don't know if you just saw him dancing, if that's not enough for you. But
I mean,
also,
like, the mask
What?
is iconic. There are people who know Trapper that don't know Dead by Daylight.
right. That's actually true. Yep.
Like, he's been in, and like anytime they do a collab, Trapper's the one they pick. He was in For Honor as a boss.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about my own killer. That's sad.
Yeah, he was in For Honor as a boss. He was in Dead by Daylight as a skin, or not Dead by Daylight, Rainbow Six as a skin.
Technically Naughty Bear.
Yeah, technically Naughty Bear. Like he's been, like, I mean, that's not a lot, but like,
Well, all the Jason movies too, apparently, everyone says. So he's very popular, actually, yeah.
Someone told me, I didn't bring this up during the rework talk. Someone has suggested that trappers should be able to teleport to trap survivors.
Isn't that Singularity? Am I wrong for saying that?
Pretty much. The more I think about it, I still think it would bust it as fuck, though.
Yo.
That would be an insane thing. Like,
That's so
you're on Swamp on the other side of the map, and someone gets trapped, and you just fucking
just
nothing
slowly
personal
appears in
kid
front
them
of you.
and just pick them up.
Oh my god, that's so busted. I would like to see that in the game once. That's so funny to
Or
me.
there's like a game mode that would be kind of cool. There's pre-placed traps around the map, and then someone steps in them, and you just teleport.
That's so good. I love that. But no, I do think he's a really good poster child. Child?
Yeah, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
Postable.
I feel like he actually represents what Dead by Daylight is. Like, even just like on a level of like, you pick up this game, play it for 2 or 3 months, and maybe put it down forever, or you feel like you're stuck here like indefinitely. You know what I mean? Like, it's like getting caught in a trap for 2 or 3 seconds, or you've been honing stoned and you're literally on the ground. Like, it feels like a perfect representation.
What an analogy.
So I think he's perfectly fine.
It was a bit of a stretch, but we got there.
we got there. We did.
Last question from Waffle Waffle. What license do you want to see in the game? This isn't a Trapper question, but what's your dream license?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have one, but I think if Jason did get put in the game, that would be cool. That way Trapper can have his own identity back. But if it wasn't that, ooh, let me make up something real quick. Sparrow. Wait, no, that could be a Xenomorph skin. That's not a killer. Oh my god, I'm so bad at these. Wait, can we edit this out? No? Okay. Killer. Well, that's the thing, because like in real life, I'm not into horror movies at all. I'm into like paranormal. Oh, I said that word wrong. Paranorma. Yeah, ghost stuff, and a bit of serial killers. Like, not an unhealthy addiction to watching those kind of things, but I don't think real serial killers should ever be in this game.
Yeah, the closest we got was Clown.
Oh, yeah, but he's fat. So
was Casey. That's why he's fat.
Wait, who's Casey?
Gacy. Sean Wayne Gacy. John
Who's
Wayne
that?
Gacy, not Sean Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. The killer clown? Pogo the clown?
Mm-hmm.
He killed,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he killed like 100 underage boys.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I only specialize in trap. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe some type of honestly, I'm not saying it because you're a Chucky main. I'm so happy that Chucky's in this game. It feels so freaking cool to have him in this game. I don't care that I've never escaped from him.
He's a license we never thought we'd get.
No, truly, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. That's so cool because maybe it's too much information, but like as a baby, I look exactly like Chucky. I'm not gonna lie. Like I had the reddest hair in the world, and people called me Chucky for quite some time. So I feel like a special connection to him. And it was one of the few horror movies like I did grow up watching. Besides It, but we kind of already have a clown, so it's hard to say. I'm not that big in horror, so I don't have that many answers. I'm happy with what we have, and I think honestly focusing more on original killers with different kinds of abilities is so much more freeing and not limiting. So I think that
I think Dredge, Singularity, and Unknown are some of the best things they've added to the game.
Dude, Dredge is scary as hell. It was super scary.
Yeah, because like all my dream licenses are in the game.
Oh my god, yeah. FNAF?
FNAF, yeah, that's next year. Yeah, FNAF, Chucky,
God.
and Xenomorph. Those are my 3 dreams. They're already in the game.
Dude, exactly. See, this is why I don't like to get mad at behavior, because of things like this.
The only license I want now that like I don't think will ever happen is The Darkness. It's a video game from like 2008. Like no one cares.
True. Wait. Oh shoot. I was just thinking about vampires. We definitely got Dracula.
Yeah, we just got Dracula from Castlevania, which was another like out of nowhere one.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Blade?
Yes.
I really like Blade. Not gonna lie.
I
think Dracula's cooler, especially the new skins coming out. That is so over the top. I can't believe that either.
Oh yeah, the new Demon Form skin. That shows me like I'm excited for where the game's going after seeing that skin.
Truly, like I'm not saying top that, but at least somewhat keep up with it. Like imagine they come out with that, and then the next killer has Trapper's Mori. It's like no shot. Like it's gonna be cooler than that for sure.
Well, I mean, Skull Merchant happens.
You don't think that's the best Mori in the game?
But Skull Merchants?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You're right. You convinced me. You convinced me. It didn't take much, but you convinced me. I'm very persuadable.
Yeah.
But
no, I love how goofy this game. I love when I Mori someone on a hill and they just like I like bury them as I'm killing them. Like they just disappear.
I was playing Community Night in my Discord, and we were just having fun and stuff. And someone was playing Chucky, and they moried. I think they moried Ellen, and someone was playing Alan Wake behind them, using Bardic Inspiration. And they took a screenshot of it and were like, "This is what Dead by Daylight is." Just this image.
I'm so glad they reverted the Mori changes. They did, right?
Or yeah, well, kind of. Okay. Base Kit Cypress is still a thing, but the other 2 Moris are the same.
Yeah, that brings so much to the game.
Oh, for sure.
Really, like if I'm absolutely destroying survivors and I'm like pissed off for some reason, and I Mori somebody, and then someone comes over and like teabags them, I'm like, you guys can live now. That was cool of you. Like
I was fine with the Cypress being base kit. I always wanted it to be base kit because it's weird that Moris are not a base part of the game.
True.
It was always so strange.
It is strange, truly. But I've heard people say it's literally so we can start, having custom not custom, but different Moris added.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. Yeah. People have been saying it for years. If Behavior made custom Moris that weren't tied to skins, like Naughty Bears and Draculas, a lot of people have said they would buy them, and I'm one of those people. I would totally buy it.
True. You know what else I could do? This could be a bad idea, but like, let's say you're on Death Hook and you bring an offering, or maybe not even. Maybe it could be base kit, but like if you're on Death Hook, you can like hit the gritty or something as a survivor. That would be so cool. People would, run stupid stuff all the time. Like someone would dance and someone's playing Bardic Inspiration. It would be so cool.
Yeah, Bardic Inspiration. That's why a lot of people like Bardic. It wasn't even because of how good it is. It's just because it was like the first like emote in the game.
Bro, it's the best perk in the game. I throw every match someone uses that in a funny way. Every single time I throw the match. I'm like, thank you for serenading me. That's amazing. I love you.
All right, Killer. Well, we have exhausted all the questions. Is there anything else you want to add about Trapper before we wrap this up?
Let me look real quick. Oh, you know when I tried to look for my phone earlier?
Mm-hmm.
At the very beginning,
Mm-hmm.
I found my secondary phone. So I don't think I have any questions or answers. Okay. Well, it is Trapper. So I will try to think if there was anything important that I missed, which I'm sure 5 minutes after this, I'll be like, dude, we missed this, but it's okay. I don't think so. I think we got through pretty much everything. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, I want to thank you for coming on. I know, once again, you asked to come on, but still, finding a Trapper Man was difficult, so I appreciate it nonetheless.
I volunteered and jumped through the red ropes. Okay. I didn't.
I'll have all the Killer stuff linked below. For those who don't follow them, you should. Swell person. Very swell person. In any case, for those listening on the YouTubes, I love y'all. Have a good one. And yeah. Bye.